And in particular, what made me suspicious is that Britney Spears herself told us she couldn't choose what she ate for dinner every night. She couldn't choose whether or not she had a baby. She couldn't choose whether or not she had an IUD. All of that is going on, this immense control over her body and her food and her actions and her choices. What dance moves she was going to do, she couldn't choose that. But somehow, for some miraculous reason, James Parnell Spears is letting Britney choose who she dates? Please. It's just a laughable proposition, in my opinion. So I don't know how the audio is going to be on this. We're still trying to get our setup correct. We're actually going to go to procure some treasures later, but y'all really liked the last whatever episode of
whatever it was called.
Y'all had some good suggestions for names. I think the front runners are...
Let's not say them right now.
Okay.
We'll
I'm
wait.
not saying them right now.
Let's discuss it.
Let's discuss it off camera. What are we talking about today?
We can talk about a few things. You want to talk about the Britney Sam divorce rumors or whatever that is?
Yeah. What do you know about that?
That they're getting a divorce?
Does it come as a surprise to you?
Not at all.
I don't see, like, and this is something that we've talked about a lot, like off camera. It became just like such a cluster bleep with the Free Britney movement, with like, basically after Britney's conservatorship ended, she was like, I did expect that she would kind of like be a little more, see, even this, like, I'm having to like calculate every damn word I say because what I'm bringing up, every single thing that anybody would say, it was like somehow bad and wrong to everybody. Like, not everybody, but there's like all this sort of infighting started happening after Britney became free in the movement. Like, when I started becoming active in the Free Britney movement, it was like everybody had one goal in mind. Get Britney out of this conservatorship. Get her in control of her own life. Once Britney got out of the conservatorship, and even right before she got out of the conservatorship, people started acting a damn fool. They started acting completely insane. It was like people who had been really good friends, people who had become actual real life off of the internet friends, started sharing screenshots of messages.
Say it to my face though, not behind my back. Won't be long till you share it in a group chat. And when I call you up, you're gonna backtrack. And you should've kept my name out your mouth.
But there was just complete implosion. And there were people showing up at the rallies, like basically stalking and harassing us, like being weird and not being like, not, it wasn't like, it's like, of course, everybody there had a camera. It wasn't like, oh, you're walking around filming. It's like this ominous, like, show up by yourself and just be huge and sweaty and filming in people's faces without saying, hey, I saw you online or anything like it just became weird. And so.
But how about at this point, the Free Britney movement, exists for justice for Britney. There's a bunch of other things out there.
It's like all these spinoffs.
But how about we just discuss it and not be as part of the movement, or just have a discussion as we're having on the couch. And if people are upset or mad about it, they can be upset and mad about it. That's their opinion. They can hold it.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. If somebody's upset and mad at me, y'all better go start your own damn podcast. Maybe somebody will watch it. I'm not concerned about them being mad at me. I'm just kind of giving like context, because not everybody who watches me now was around for Free Britney and the movement, and that's really where I kind of got started in this whole world. But yeah, I'm just giving context for like why I say things certain way or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I've been trying to say I'm very suspicious about this Sam Asghari relationship. And in particular, what made me suspicious is that Britney Spears herself told us she couldn't choose what she ate for dinner every night. She couldn't choose whether or not she had a baby. She couldn't choose whether or not she had an IUD. All of that is going on, this immense control over her body and her food and her actions and her choices. What dance moves she was going to do, she couldn't choose that. But somehow, for some miraculous reason, James Parnell Spears is letting Britney choose who she dates? Please. It's just a laughable proposition, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, to me, it was always weird. With the conservatorship, as you said, she could not do basic things. She couldn't buy Skechers shoes that she wanted to. She couldn't.
Skechers.
She couldn't
How much
get
is a pair of Skechers? Like maybe $100 for the most expensive one.
She couldn't get sushi if she wanted to
Sushi.
get. She couldn't make those decisions, but she was allowed to pick a boyfriend of her choosing, and then he was her choice. And again, I always try to give it benefit of the doubt with everything else. Mm-hmm. So I was once the conservatorship ended, I was in the camp of maybe very suspicious of it, but I was like, maybe they did fall in love. Maybe he did come in as a plant. He was brought in to control her, do whatever he was supposed to do, but maybe over time, spending all that time together, they fell in love or something like that. But
and I think we also wanted to be optimistic because there was so much chatter about, the Free Britney movement and the Free Britney fans being conspiracy theorists and pessimists and cynical and jumping to these conclusions. And so I think me and you in particular were like trying to hold out for like any possible explanation that could reconcile Britney actually choosing it and also the fact that we know that she didn't really have a choice with other stuff.
Yep. Yeah, no, it always blew my mind how crazy people went if you questioned Sam in the movement, some group of people. And on the other hand, there was another group that completely was on the opposite side.
Like no matter what he would do, it was bad.
Yeah, and I felt like there wasn't discussions to kind of come to understanding. And that happens a lot in today's society where it's like you pick one side or the other side and that's it, you're on that camp. And I'm always about, let's try come to the middle. Let's talk. And again, we talk about it a lot of times. There's things that we don't agree on.
Yeah.
We might disagree and we can have a conversation. We can even have an intense conversation, but then at the end of it, kind of even come to the conclusion we can agree to disagree. Mm-hmm. We don't have to agree on everything.
Yeah.
But I felt like in the Free Britney movement and overall in culture today, it's either you got to be on one side or the other side, and then that's it. You can't talk about it. And that's what I felt with the Sam thing. For me, it was always, it's weird that he came from the conservatorship, that the teen con was there when he was put into place, he was allowed to exist. So it was really
and they
weird.
met on the set of a music video.
So it was really weird. But then on the other hand, I was like, maybe they fell in love. Maybe there was true love.
I was also holding out for the possibility that Sam was a plant, which is like a word we throw around now, basically installed to be a handler, but also maybe some type of companion for Britney. And then like what I was holding out for the longest and what I really kind of wanted to believe was he actually fell in love with her and he was kind of installed for that purpose, but he saw that how she was treated was wrong and maybe he was trying to help her get out of the conservatorship. I kind of held out for that for a long time. And I even held open the possibility that he is financially incentivized a little bit, right? Or career incentivized, where like just, he's a household name at this point because he is Britney Spears' now husband. And so I'm like, all right, worst case scenario, I wanted it to be worst case scenario. Maybe he's a little clout chasing. Maybe he just wants a little come up off of Britney Spears' name, but he does love her. He does want her out of the conservatorship. He does see that it's wrong and he is working together with her to kind of pull her from this place, like on her team. But now, have you seen the recent headlines or the recent articles that he's threatening to like expose personal information about her unless she agrees to renegotiate the prenup? That he already bragged about being so excited about this prenup. He already bragged about how good the prenup was.
Well, to be fair,
we don't know if he said it.
We don't know if he said it. Well, we know, especially when TMZ comes out with someone is spinning a narrative. TMZ, in my opinion, is whoever has money and connections and wants to push a narrative. That's what TMZ exists for. So just to be fair, as I would say, question TMZ or even any other news media source, whenever they put out a story or whenever they jump on a story and hammer it.
Because we've seen how hard it is to get somebody to run a story about like a real human rights issue.
Yep.
It's like always just sort of prepackaged celebrity gossip that they want to talk about.
So I'll give Sam the benefit of the doubt there and say,
okay, that's fair.
Hey, did he plant that story? Did someone else plant that story? We don't know. It kind of seems to, it doesn't really favor him. It makes him look bad, but is he trying to negotiate through the media? There's so many things that could be going on.
That's true.
But just discussing the headlines from wherever they came from, unless they were just made up, which could be a possibility.
No, there's a divorce petition being circulated around. So I think it's real.
No, the divorce petition is real, but that he wants her to rip up the prenup, give him money from her, do different things, or he's going to release details if the prenup isn't redone. I'm talking about all that type of stuff. The divorce is happening. That is true, but I'm talking about those headlines where or Britney cheated on him. That's why they broke up.
Yeah, I don't even think that's even true. I don't think that's even true that she cheated on him.
And that's
in my opinion. I don't know. I wasn't there.
And that's why I say we don't know what any of those headlines are.
Yeah.
And so let's wait and see what goes on there. But I just think the divorce, I was hoping I'd hold that, like you said, he had fallen in love and there was something there, but it was just weird always. And now that it's ending, it's not a huge surprise to me that they ended, you know.
Have you seen, I know I told you about it, have you seen Sloane's video about their wedding?
No, I've been busy working, haven't had a chance.
It's really eye-opening. The thing that I found, and if y'all haven't seen Sloane's recent video about Britney's wedding, I would suggest go watch it. I mean, even if it's not ordinarily the, channel you would watch or whatever, because I think he does a great job at putting together a bunch of pieces of evidence that I don't think in and of themselves they prove anything, but it definitely raises questions to me. And the thing that stands out the most to me is that there's two different, there's a lot. There's a lot of pictures of, for example, Selena Gomez. My nose itches. There's a lot of pictures of Selena Gomez at the wedding. And in one picture, she's got long hair, maybe sort of middle of her back, straight, flat iron hair, with a blue tube top type of dress, if I'm remembering correctly. I'll put the picture up here. Now, a lot of people on the more sort of conspiratorial side of TikTok would focus on how her arm is bent. And they're like, arms don't bend like that. So their implication is that's an AI generated image, which I played around on an art AI generator this morning. And I do think you could probably buy an art generator that could make pictures of real people look real. So it could be AI, could not. But for me, that wasn't the issue. For me, the issue was there's other pictures of Selena purportedly from the wedding, and her hair's short and curled with a heat tool, like either a curling iron or a flat iron or whatever. And she's wearing a totally different outfit, a black dress. So yes, she could have changed her clothes, and put extensions in and flat ironed it after she already had it curled. And it does raise questions to me. There's also, in Sloane's video, picture of Donatella Versace, who did design the dress. Basically, the wedding was sponsored by Versace, basically. And Sam Asghari. So Donatella and Sam.
Was it really sponsored, or is that your opinion?
That's my opinion. It's an opinion. It's a joke. Actually, it's hyperbole. It's a joke. I don't know if I don't know. But it's very well known that Versace is the dress that she wore. And also leading up to the wedding, Sam was seen in Gucci at the Versace premiere or he was wearing Versace at the Gucci premiere. So it's very obvious to me that there's some Donatella Versace connection, even if it's just a friendly, I want to put you on because I like you type of thing, which happens. If I have a friend who owns a business and makes clothes I like, I will wear their clothes. Yes, I will. And I will tell people to get them. If I like them, I will. So in and of itself, not a big deal. But there's a picture of Donatella and Sam in front of some backdrop or whatever. Sloane in his video included this, but it was a different TikToker who took that picture and another picture from the wedding. And basically what I did with that Harvard Lima overlap, it's the exact same picture that's been photoshopped onto a different background as to make it look like Donatella and Sam took more than one picture together when in fact it was just one picture. I'm like, And so the implication in the video, I think, in the original creator's TikTok was like, it's all AI generated and the AI just put different backgrounds. To me, I guess that could be the case. I'm not an AI expert. I'm leaning more, though, towards they took one picture together and then they just put them in front of a bunch of backgrounds to kind of make it seem like whatever. Now, the other conspiracy theory I've seen, I'm not saying I believe it, I'm saying I've seen it, is that even all of that is like a psyop just to F with us, which I guess it could be, but for the purpose of what? Just to see if we notice the same two people are in front of two backgrounds? Like, that makes less sense to me.
It's just, again, I'll have to watch Sloane's video. You should go watch it, and I'll watch it. Maybe we can comment on it next time.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it really says. But again, I would think these people are more complicated or more sophisticated than the average person, and they would pick up on those seem like very basic details with the hair and other stuff, or it just could be Photoshop. I don't know what it is, but I would expect someone at that level of sophistication running that type of program, if they're running something, that they would be more well put together. And especially after when the first conservatorship started, no one was I still think people were looking into it, but it wasn't a huge movement. It was a very small fraction of people that were saying stuff. I did not hear about it until you started looking into it and trying to debunk it. So, they were maybe sloppy, as your friend Big Sloppy probably is. But at the same time, it would be sloppy of them to make those basic mistakes, So I'm curious. I want to see what that video is about. I'll go watch it today.
So what have you seen as far as the divorce chatter and etc.? Or what are your thoughts or commentary, opinions?
I just feel bad for Britney. It's like she can't catch a break. And truly...
Who does she have?
Who does she have? She has no one. And we talk about it all the time. It's happened to you, where people become your friends, but they have motives, they have reasons, and then they betray you the first second they get to advance themselves.
Kids these days so shameless, selling out real friends for a paycheck. Mama didn't teach them no home training.
Someone at Britney's level, no matter who she meets, who she becomes friends with, it's always the question, why are they becoming her friend? I truly believe it, especially now. Your original friends from your childhood, from before you make it big, before you start gaining popularity, are the only people. Even them, we know someone that we think we won't even talk about that.
We won't even talk about that. But yeah, I mean,
people from old people can come in, also take advantage of you.
It's kind of like our saying now, like anybody can be anybody, and anybody can be doing anything for any reason, and it starts to make sense. I mean, I am nowhere near the level of I'm like a 1 to 5% the level of fame as like an average celebrity. Like I'm not even a celebrity. I'm not. There's no characterization that you could say that I would even be. And even I have come into these experiences where I cross paths with people and they are so nice, so convincing, vibes are so good, and you really think that person is your friend. And it's not even like you have to go through a build-up of, disagreements. It's just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this person is like made it their life mission to like take you down. And at the level of Britney Spears or like Taylor Swift or like people who can pack tens of thousands of people into a stadium, whole economies run off of those people. So yeah, I mean, why wouldn't even like foreign operatives like want a piece of that? Like, why wouldn't you? It just makes sense. People have been using other people to make money and to derive benefits since the beginning of people.
So to that, I actually just feel bad. I don't know how she ever gets to a point where life is just simple and easy and she can trust people. She's just in a horrible position, and I just feel bad for her. And especially considering she's been doing since she was a little kid. So
Yeah,
she doesn't
it's
even
her
have
whole
a
life has been this.
she doesn't even have a childhood or people that she was close to in childhood. She's been a celebrity since she was a teenager or even before that. So it's like, I just feel bad for her. I hope she finds peace. I hope if this conservatorship is over or whatever care plan it is, lets her be and gives her time to spend on her. And, you know, a lot of times I'm like, well, we don't see from the person, we don't hear from the person. Even that, you know, who wants to go out in the public when thousands of people are going to swarm you and you're going to be, everything you say is going to be taken and ripped apart. So
it's like the absence of good faith. And I really do think that is the fault of the team around her. Like, I legitimately believe that from the time Britney started becoming very famous, the stories that we have been given about her and the coverage we've been given about her has almost all in those early years come from publicists who would give the stories to these tabloids. And why were we focusing so damn much on her perceived virginity or whether she had done activity like that? Like, she was literally a teenager and people were asking her to her face on camera publicly, sometimes live, about her possible breast augmentation and her sexual life. A teenager they were talking to about this. And it's like, well, yeah, whenever you're focusing so much on that, like, it's almost like building this figure up to sacrifice them, to tear them down. It's almost like they just wanted to put anyone in that spot of Britney. And I felt the same way lately about this Michael Oher situation. Like, it's possible, I don't know, we've said it on our last time we did our podcast, or whatever this is. It's possible the Tuohys did nothing wrong. They really wanted to help the guy, all of that. But I also see that how everything was kind of already set up in place. The writer they knew, the author they knew, the Ole Miss connections, the connections at the private school, all the money and resources that they would have needed. Then he ended up actually, it all worked. He did go to college. He did go and get drafted into the NFL. And so it's almost like Michael Jerome Oher could have been Matthew Jerome Thompson or whoever. Like, it's almost like anyone could have been in that spot. They could have forced that storyline onto anybody. And it makes me feel like that could have been what happened to Britney. I'm not saying that is what happened to Michael, for the record. I don't know. I wasn't there. But it's like, you can't talk about these famous people and celebrities without discussing how they've been portrayed to us. And I think the portrayal is part of the trauma, because now Britney can't escape what we already all think of her.
Yep. No, the way I would close it off is, on this topic is, I hope she finds some peace. I hope she gets to do what she wants to do. I hope she is truly free to make her decisions. And I just wish the best for her.
Me too.
And I hope that people stop getting on her for every little thing, demanding of her like it's their property.
Very entitled.
Like, let her just be. And then other thing is, another hope I have, I guess I have a lot of hopes, is when people read headlines, just look at where it's coming from.
Consider the source.
For either way, I'm not even saying like, oh, is it pro Britney or is it against Britney? All those narratives are being pushed. So when you're fighting with people online about a narrative, when you're arguing with people online about a narrative, give each other the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
You know, same way I would say before with Britney and Sam after the conservatorship, allowed there for it to be dialogue where you don't need to be at each other's throat, where it doesn't have to be either my way or the highway. Have a discussion. And that's what's great. Like, if you have a discussion and you can actually talk, and even if you disagree, that's fine. It's okay to disagree. You don't have to agree on everything.
Yeah.
But just have a conversation and try to come to a middle ground. And if you can't, say, we can't come to a middle ground, and respect each other and be okay with it. So those are all my hopes out of this Britney situation. And
I also hope that outside of like, for Britney and Sam, like, we stop, like, I don't know, I feel like what even is marriage anymore? Is this a topic for another day? Like, it's almost like we just expect people to just get divorced to the point where it's like, you couldn't make it over a year. And yeah, it does happen. Sometimes people turn out to be who you didn't know they were and stuff. But they dated for 5 years before they got married, and then got married and lasted 1 year. To me, it just feels like Sam might have always had this on his mind.
Again, it's so hard to know, especially in this situation. And in any celebrity relationship, it's hard. But in this, it's even harder because of the conservatorship, because of the restrictions he had placed on her life, because of the way he came into her life and the time he came into her life. This is just real.
For sure.
It's confusing. And again, I don't think any of us will really ever know unless Britney actually gets on camera, she's shot, and it isn't edited to the point and cut up to the point where you don't even know what is what. And that's the other thing. Even if she does an interview, how edited is it, you know?
Yeah.
So I think the only way to ever truly find out is if Britney was just speaking out in the public and it wasn't cut up. And I don't know if she'll be ever able to do that with the environment that is today. So,
well, she's more than welcome to come be on That Surprise podcast.
If she wants, but.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, like you saying you don't know if she'll ever be able to do that. It's like, well, I'm not going to CNN her if she comes here. But yeah, I mean, that's not even something I don't think Britney would want to do that. And if I were Britney, I wouldn't. I'd be like, who is this girl? You know, I know my intentions, but she doesn't. And like we already said, who can she trust? I have nothing to offer her to say, oh, you can trust me. Like, I don't blame her for not trusting people. I do hope the best for her. And in this whole divorce process, I hope that Sam has some, what's the word I'm looking for? Decency to acknowledge, like, the sensitivity of everything that this poor girl has already been through and how she doesn't need her now ex-husband dragging her too. Because for a while, despite what people would say about him, bad or good, he at least publicly would take up for her and do the lioness and the she's so great. But I mean, it really, for a lot of people, it all stems back to that 2019 Bridges to Recovery. Because he was saying she's so strong, she's doing the greatest. He was there pulling her out of the rehab that time in April or March or whatever.
Hey man, really sorry. Everyone's just wondering, how's Britney doing right now?
My baby's doing
Yeah.
great.
She's great?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like you're doing a great job. Everyone's wondering, what's the role that you're playing in her life right now?
Thank you very much. She's doing amazing. Her fans are so amazing to be so concerned, but she's doing great.
Yeah. You have any other message for the fans?
No. Nobody needs to worry. She's doing amazing. She'll be back soon. Take it easy.
Gotcha. Thank you, Sam.
All the while, she's telling us now she was being tortured in there.
Well, to that, the counter argument could be he had to put on that front or Team Khan would have gotten rid of him.
I've heard that one, yeah.
But, just giving context. But now it's that the relationship's over, it all calls into question what it was. And I don't know if we'll ever really know. And it is what it is.
So I guess that's all I really had for the divorce aspect of things. But we got a lot of questions last time, in particular about what products you use in your hair.
Oh, my hair story?
What's your hair routine?
Well, it's very simple and basic right now. And so right now for my hair, I just wash it with water and that's about it. I just recently realized in the last 6 months, 9 months since I've been growing out my hair that my hair is curly. Even though I had really long hair when I was a kid, I used to comb it out and put it into a turban. And maybe that can be a topic one day, my hair, turban, why I don't wear a turban, and all that.
Yeah.
But because I wore a turban, my hair was straight. I didn't know my hair was curly until recently. And now I believe in keeping everything as natural as possible. So I don't use shampoo. I don't use conditioner. I don't put any product in my hair. This is just, I take a shower and it comes out like this.
I told somebody, they asked, they were like, please, we're dying to know what's Prem's hair routine. And I replied to the comment. I said, you're going to be really mad.
Yeah,
His hair routine is water.
Yeah, I just put water on it. Once in a while, like if it's going to be a long day and we're actually going somewhere, we have to take pictures and stuff. It does get dry as the day goes on. Or if it's a lot of humidity and frizzy, then I'll put in whatever product you give me that day. I'll just throw that in there. But if I do put product in it, that's when I will wash it with shampoo and then I will condition it. But my belief is, and it's different for every single person.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I use products.
you use products and everything, but my belief is the shampoo strips out the oils, the conditioner's putting the oils back in. There's no need for that. If you wash your hair regularly, you clean your scalp, it's okay. And for me, it works. So my hair routine's pretty simple now.
You might have to do soap sometimes because, like water has like minerals and stuff in it that can build up on your hair. So like maybe sometimes you can wash it.
Yeah, no, I do like
With soap or whatever.
Once every few months, I do wash it, but I have our water tested, so I know what minerals and
Yeah,
what
our
parts.
specific water isn't an issue.
Yeah, so I make sure our water is
We
good.
do have minerals in our water though.
Yeah, we do, but
That do get in your hair.
Yeah, no, but I make sure that our water is good.
Did you see any other questions? Y'all comment questions below. I liked the question, like the more personal questions.
Yeah, ask questions. We'll pick some, and we can answer them at end of every episode if it calls for it, and just kind of go from there.
So, I guess that's all we really had on the Britney stuff.
Yeah, I think we'll call it a day here.
In the meantime, back saying defamation, love you. Okay, bye.
Bye.